Hello, welcome back to my garden. If you're new, I'm Catherine and I garden in Oxfordshire in the UK. Sorry about the noise in the background. There's a little old plane that sometimes comes over here and oh, Ellie's turned up now. That starts doing, I don't know what it does, whether it does tricks and things, but it's very annoying, very noisy. I want to talk today about autumn sowing and why it's a really good idea to sow some things now, and you'll get earlier flowers next year and bigger, stronger plants. I'm going to show you why this is a good way of doing things and what seeds that I'll be sowing now. There's a concept called, lots of people have done this already, but Lisa Mason Ziegler, who's a flower grower from the States, wrote this book called Call Flowers. And it's very useful because it goes through a lot of flowers that you'd be growing in the garden for cut flowers, or if you just like growing annuals, and which ones you can sow in the autumn. So basically, it's anything that's described as a hardy annual. And they do vary what temperatures they can go down to. A very good resource is the RHS, Royal Horticultural Society website, because under each plant profile, if you scroll down, it will tell you what temperature it can survive at. But most hardy annuals will get through our winters. Having said that, I did lose a couple last year. So I think the idea is that you sow now, so they're good sized plants as they go into the winter. I think maybe that was my mistake, the plants weren't big enough to survive. And not only will they cope with the winter, they seem to thrive as well. And you can get, things that wouldn't flower till maybe July, August can be flowering in May and June. So if that's important to you, or what I like is that it's a kind of safety net. So I'll sow some things now, and if some of them don't survive the winter, I've got another chance to sow them late winter, early spring. So it just keeps your options open. And I just thought I'd show you how I keep my seeds. I need to do a sort of seed audit to see if I need to order any more. I use these photographic containers. They're meant for photographs, and then they come with a case. I don't use the case because I'm lucky I've got a spare old fridge in our garage, so I put them in there. It's a good idea to keep your seeds dry and cool. So a dark room that isn't heated is good. If you've got a fridge, that's better. Then they can last really well. So this one, and there are lots of different ways you could do them alphabetically. I tend to do them in month for when they need sowing, because then I can just grab one or grab a couple. And because I said about sowing some in September and then them not surviving the winter and having to re-sow them again, I have brought some of my March and April cassettes up as well. So if they're ones that I can't find, I will look through there. The other thing is sweet peas. If you autumn sow them, again, they're not quite as hardy. They're hardy to about -5. So I tend to keep them in the greenhouse or in a cold frame until I plant them out in March. But if you sow them in the autumn, again, you get good sized plants and they'll flower earlier. So I want to go through those to see what I need to reorder. There are one or two that I grow each year, but then it's always fun to try different ones you've seen as well, isn't it? So that's probably what I'll do. And then I have also built my biennials pack, just because I know it's late to sow biennials, but if there are any that, I'm going to sow some more honesty because I haven't had very good germination from the ones I sowed, and I think it's worth a try. What's the worst that can happen? They don't flower next year, and then you'll get really good plants the following year. So I always think it's worth a try. So the main annuals that I'm going to grow are scabious, and I just want to see what I've got. I grew the QIS series. I must look up to see what QIS actually stands for, because I don't know. And I absolutely loved these. they came in pinks, pale pinks, dark pinks, beautiful clear lavender, and a dark colour. And let's see how many I've got. Yeah, I think I've got enough of those that I don't need to. I don't know. Actually, they're not loads of those. Although I have got some separate black cat, and that's, if I had to just choose one, I'd probably choose that one. So my seed audit, I do actually have them all written in a database on my computer, but it doesn't always get updated. Yeah, there's quite a few, so I think I've got enough of those. I've also got some perennials here because now's a good time to sow perennials. These are Limonium, the rat tail status. See, the other thing that's a bit confusing is some of the things that say half hardy, they're kind of erring on the side of caution. And see, Rebecca's say half hardy, but I've had those survive the winter. So that's why. And if you don't want to buy this book, if you go to her website, which is called The Gardener's Workshop, it's a good resource because she lists all the, I mean, she sells the seed, you don't have to buy them, you can just look, and she divides them into cool flowers and, are they hot flowers? I can't remember. But again, she'll tell you when the best time is to sow them. And America is all about zones because it's such a vast country that, you know, you're going to have different climate zones. We just pretty much have one, which I think we're all zone 8, but if that's wrong, I'll write that below. Snapdragons, now that's definitely something that's worth sowing now. I've got some Legend light pink. I've got quite a few of those, and they're a very pale, not really blushy pink, almost a sort of bluey pink, a cool pink. Rebecca Sahara, well, everybody loves those. Let's see how many. I've got a few of those. I think I might get some more of those. And I've got some, see, these aren't all in the, that's why I need to do an order. I need to, because there's some foxgloves, so they don't belong in there. Nigella, I'm not going to bother because I think I've got lots that are going to self-seed. Lavatera or Lavatera, I think I'll do that. I didn't have much luck with them, but I've still got quite a few seeds, so I'm going to try them. So I'll try those again. Corn cockle light rose, these are absolutely stunning. I've always liked the purple one, but this is a beautiful silvery pale pink. And because last year I grew this one and the purple one, here comes the plane, and I also grew Hesperus, Sweet Rocket, just in the purple. I had a lot of purple, and even though it's probably my favourite colour, I think I had too much because they flowered at the same time. So I've got some Hesperus, so I think I'm just going to sow the pale one of the corn cockle. That's another Rebecca. I think I'll grow those. Chimney, got some just around here. I absolutely loved these, so that's definitely a must. This is Scabious Caucasian. Now that's a perennial, but it does flower quite quickly, so you can almost treat it like an annual. And I think I'll sow some more of those. Ami, I would definitely say I had much better luck with Ami than with Dara. I know there's some sort of thing that can affect the wild carrot, the carrot family, but it seems odd that the Dara would be affected, not the Ami, but I did have more luck with that. Stocks, they were something I think I tried to overwinter and didn't do very well, but I will try those again. I'll give them another chance. Gypsophila kermesina, I think I tried that's the sort of pale pink one. I might try that one again. Some more stocks. These are Rainbow Quartet, and the good thing about those is that they're branching, because the usual stocks you just get one flower per stem, but those you get more for your money. I loved the mignonette, which that's described as a perennial, but I think you can treat that as an annual. It gets these lovely green seed heads, and you can use them fresh, and I'm drying some as well, so I'm going to grow more of those. There's some more foxglove in the wrong place. Bells of Ireland. Again, mine didn't do very well in the winter, so I re-sowed them in the spring, and I've still got them now. If you, because they do flower early, you tend to find that they don't last as long in the season. So again, you can re-sow in the spring for a succession. That's another scabious, the perennial one, a dark blue, so I'm going to grow that. A different sort of ammi, some violas, I think I do that. I've got quite a lot of these now, which is a perennial Eryngium blue glitter. So I don't think I'm going to do that one. That's another perennial, Sanguisorba, Great Burnet. I didn't have much luck with. I might do. I'll see. And then I've got Orlea, which is a beautiful sort of flattened cowparsy type flower. And this was pretty as well, which is Omphalides, little Snow White, really sweet, great in jam jar posies. It doesn't get very tall, but it's just so cute. I'm going to grow that again. Saponaria, which is a perennial. Again, it's a sort of pretty sweet little flower. I might try that. And I've got some more Rudbeckia Goldilocks, which have done really well for me. I don't think you can have too many Rudbeckias. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to sow these, and I'm probably going to do it using soil blocking. I have got a video about that. Might have been the first video that I did on my channel, so I'll link it up here if you want to see how that method is. And I'm going to look through the rest of these containers. I'm going to spare you the tediousness of that and see if there are anything that I put in to sow again in the spring that now I want to sow now. And then I would really recommend that if you want to get a head start on next year's flowers, to do, and it doesn't matter what method, I'm going to do soil blocking. You could do the plastic bottle method, you could just do regular in a seed tray or in a module. The temperatures are still quite good at this time of year, so you might not need bottom heat to germinate them. Things do tend to germinate well at this time of year. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. Do ask if you have any questions about a particular flower that you're wondering if you could grow now, or anything. I love to get comments. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.